What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Comeback Couples Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jennison, with my
cool wife, Kendra Jennison.
Cool Jennison.
Hello, cool K.
Cool J Jennison.
Cool KJ. Okay, anyways, that wasn't working.
Very cool. Very cool. Topics of the day. I'm bringing a more serious tone to this one.
All right, me too.
No, you don't need to be serious.
Oh, okay.
I like when you're not serious. Quit playing so fucking small. Yet. That's the topic.
It's a twist, eh?
No, there's no twist. We're not playing Twister yet. Naked Twister. What I'm talking about is things, people, places, stories, locations that make you play small.
Ooh, this is going to break me wide open, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not that they make you play small, that you choose to play small. So I'm actually going to go into a conversation.
Really?
Or just a few weeks ago, we're in Oceanside. I'm there. I'm in we'll call it a men's retreat.
Wink.
And it's Garrett, Jay White, and myself. We're sitting there talking about life and crazy things beyond our comprehension, or beyond normal conversations and comprehension. And he said something that hit me, which was like a ton of bricks, which is, Mark, quit playing so fucking small. Yet if you spend time with me, I do not play small.
I was going to say, yeah.
My work ethic, my drive, my intensity, my vision is massive.
It's otherworldly sometimes.
It is.
Yes.
But my lifestyle, our house, our town, our geographical location. I mean, we just we had a conversation with our new money guy, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, I recommend that people live on this and 80% and invest this 20%. Or it wasn't that exact conversation, but we're talking about, what the Rockefellers do and how we could do our life and structure. I said, well, what about the people on the other side of it that live on 20 and have 80 and make millions? And what do we do with this money? Because we don't live a lavish lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Now, when Garrett told me that, I don't want to say it hurt, because nothing really hurts me, but
shook you.
Shook, maybe rattled, questioned, yeah. Like, where am I really playing small? Mm-hmm. And then the question is why?
Yes.
Now for you, we're just going to, we're having a conversation before this podcast talking about what should we talk about, right? We're shooting 2 of these a day now. And the question I said is outgrowing the people you love.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your mantle to handle today. That's going to be your war to wage to attack, is outgrowing the people you love that are keeping you playing small. And this is difficult for you to talk about because people are probably going to listen to it.
And that's okay. That's not the part I'm worried about. If worried is even at the forefront of my mind, it is difficult. I have a deep, deep love for the people that I've surrounded myself with for the past 32 years of my life. I am grateful for every single one of them. I truly love the people that I choose to keep around. I love with my whole heart. And so having to have the conversation in the war inside of my brain and what it feels like to outgrow people that you love is very difficult.
What does it feel like?
I feel very torn. I feel that there are 2 different, sometimes 3 different, 4 different Kendras that are happening. There was a time, and I'm much better about it now. I came to a spot in my life right now where I've made the choice of who I am and where I'm going, and I'm becoming more unapologetic about it. I wish I could say that I just didn't care at all, and this is who I am, and F you, and this is where I'm going. That's just not me. I've always been a people pleaser. I like to make people happy. I like to make people feel good. I don't like to hurt feelings. That's just who I am.
You've definitely gotten better.
But I've gotten more apologetic about what I want for my life, and I'm sorry if that doesn't fit your story of who I'm supposed to be or who I was, right? Mm-hmm. There was a time, and this all happened in very short, ever since I met you, really, it all happened in such a short amount of time. But there's a story, there's all stories that we all hold on to, and there's a story of myself that my family holds on to of who I am or who I can't say what they see me as or who they see me as, but they're holding on to a story of this is who Kendra is. And as soon as I started breaking away from that and started, becoming more unapologetic in what it means for me to explore myself, physically, financially, mentally, spiritually, just growing and exploring all these different things that I had never explored before and talking about it openly.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You talk about God every day now.
I do.
So listen.
Yes.
Your family does not.
Yes. And that it's difficult.
Have they said anything yet?
Nope. I don't think they will.
I hear your sister and I read her stacks.
Yeah.
Starting to explore.
And I love that.
Question God. Question, what is this thing? And that's happening, one, for being around me, but two, because she hasn't said it, right?
That's a huge one. But there's even friendships and family. There's a story of Kendra that they're holding on to of this is who Kendra is or this is who you are. And whether they say it out loud or not, I'm very fortunate where my family is very supportive. They're super supportive. I still think it's difficult in some ways for them to watch and for them to say, maybe not out loud, but who does she think she is now?
How does that feel?
And at first, I will admit I didn't know how to navigate it. I wanted to be the Kendra that my family knew. I wanted to be that Kendra for them because that's who they knew. But at the same time, that wasn't who I was. I wanted to break out of this fucking cage and be like, no, this is who I am now. Just see me as this woman now. And it's hard to navigate because I wanted to people please. I wanted to please everybody. But at the end of the day, it wasn't pleasing me. And so I had to get to a spot. And now I'm at that spot where I am just very matter of fact. This is who I am. And I wish I could say that I tiptoe or I don't tiptoe and I just speak my mind and I talk about whatever I want in front of anybody. That's not true. I still do tiptoe around certain topics or feelers because
like
God, like money, like fitness. There's just certain, my goal isn't to make my family or people that I care about feel like shit. And I'm not in a spot yet where I am, I feel like any conversation that I have been currently having, and I've been very conscious of it, has been, kind of ego filled or maybe a little patronizing to some people. And I'm aware of it. And I just am not intellect enough yet to have the conversation where it's coming across as very just matter of fact and not like I'm superior in any way, because I don't want that. And I'm conscious of it. And I don't want to feel, and again, I'm at a spot where my family I truly, genuinely believe that my family is like, fuck yeah, this is who she is. This is who she wants to be. Go on and do your thing. I really do. I have great friends, that may not be doing large things in life, but they fully support every opportunity of growth and every avenue that I've explored. They're totally open. And I love that. And so, and so has my family. They don't speak about it, but I truly want to believe in my heart that they're happy that I'm doing that because this is who I want to be, but doesn't mean that it's easy. There's so many times where I want to do things with my family. My family has a very specific way that they want to live their life. What they do on their daily basis and what they do from day to day and how they choose to celebrate and how that is so far from how I want to and how I live my life, but I still want to be a part of that. So I'm navigating, how can I still, choose to have them in my life without lowering myself back to the old Kendra. And I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think
you know?
I don't think you will lower yourself back because you vibrate and operate at a higher place all the time. I think it's just about accepting where they are and who you get to be at that moment. I've mentioned this to you before, right?
Yeah.
Like there's certain times when you get around a certain group of friends or even sometimes your sister and just like the slang and the language that you use.
It changes.
And it changes. It goes back to very, very average communication.
And that's me. And that's me making sure that I still have a connection with the level that they're at. So I'm lowering myself because this is where they're at in their life. So I'm trying to be like, hey, see, I'm not better than you. I can still be this old Kendra. I can still rock with these conversations. What you want to talk about? Like, I'm here with you.
Is that really who you want to be?
It's not.
I'm not saying you're wrong. No. You can be whoever the hell you want to be.
And you know, I'm at a place in my life right now, which has been the most liberating place for me, is I'm not boxing myself in any way, shape, or form. I'm not allowing anybody to stop or hinder my growth. Whereas before, you know, as I'm trying to navigate it, maybe I would have if somebody would have said something, or I would have been like, oh, you're right. Like I would have held on to stories of, you're right, this is who Kendra is. How dare I even have the audacity to think about Kendra being this person? You know, that's not how I am anymore. You know, I am not so foolish as to think that I'm better than anybody, because I truly am in a place where I don't think that, but there's certain levels that I wish to live my life at. And if that's not conducive with theirs, then there's nothing for me there on an everyday platform. You know, that doesn't mean I can't fly back to Wisconsin, sit at a dinner with my family and have conversations, whatever their conversations are. Sure. Of course I can. You know, am I going to get anything out of it? Maybe not. They'll probably still talk about the same stories that they've been talking about for 40, 20, 15 years, you know. That's not who I am anymore, but I'm not going to look down on them for doing that. They chose that. You know, I'm choosing this. And it's hard. It's hard because you love them, you know, you love people and they care about you. And I know that they do. It just is, it can be a little uncomfortable, I guess.
This is great just to watch you think through it, because
this is a great question.
Like
Holy smokes.
This is putting you actually on the spot, right? Live. I mean, this is live, but it's going to go out. It's going to get aired. People are going to watch it, listen to it. Maybe like some of the clips go viral. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't.
I don't know.
My take on it. I want you to keep searching and asking questions versus me taking away, but I will just go where I'm at right now. When they say play small, right, if I back up to that conversation with Gary, it's difficult because I don't really play small with the way that I work, because I've built a massive, massive, massive movement, and I can drive and demand and command a massive amount of money.
Yes.
For the knowledge of what I possess in the area of expertise that I possess it in. Mm-hmm. So to know that I'm already one of the top,
one of the top.
There's not many people that are making multiple six figures just to be a one-on-one, right? Yeah. That's not my business. Just to talk to me.
Yep.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to say I play small, I look at it, it actually comes from a place of, I'm not where I want to be yet. So it's actually discipline.
Sure.
Because I've lost all the other times. So it's a story that I tell myself, which I actually enjoy the story because I don't have the financial wall of freedom around my family that I want. Okay. Like there's a certain number that I'm after, which is when I will say, hey, I'm actually successful.
Yes, I know that.
And that number is 9 figures. Mm-hmm. Net worth, not just net worth, but have 9 figures of access to liquid. And I'm not there.
Right.
So anything in between here and there, if that's my quest, is actually in my mind taking me off the disciplined charted path I have to get there.
Okay.
But then when I look at it, I'm like, I'm spending my whole time of my life working for this thing, knowing that I'm going to die someday. So I'm looking at time, I'm fighting time, trying to get there now, but it's difficult because I'm not getting there now. It's a long road to where I'm trying to go. Yeah. So when I look at it from playing small, I'm presented with the opportunity of like, how do I want to feel on this journey? Mm-hmm. Who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? How do I have to interact with people? And I look at what I've accomplished to get here. I don't give a fuck.
You don't.
If my family likes me or not.
You do not. I do.
You do.
Yeah. And that's where it's difficult. For me.
I love your family. This is nothing against them. If they don't want to like me for who I am, I cannot. And they don't.
And right? you want to know this is just coming as like a direct download for me to talk about while you're speaking through the dangers of me caring too much or caring too much about what my family has thought and allowing them to still hold on to, hey, this is who you are, Kendra, and me playing back down on that level. The danger of that is it wasn't until this year that I was able to open my eyes and break a lot of stories. And I say that's danger because if I would have broken that, maybe not broken because I never wanted to sever the relationship. If I was able to just separate and be more unapologetic about, nope, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. I love you, but like, I gotta go. You know, if I was better about that, I feel like we would be in a different place financially, spiritually, literally, physically, I held you back.
Had you made this move 3 years ago?
Yeah.
That you're just making right now?
Yeah.
Our life would be unrecognizable.
Exactly. And by me holding myself back and not rising up to my greatest potential and my greatest power, it held you back, and you held back because you didn't want to leave me behind. You're like, this is my wife. I love her. I got to allow her to figure shit out on her own. I'm not going to leave her, but like, come on, baby girl. Like, catch up.
I have been patiently impatient.
Yeah.
For years with you because I made a choice and a decision, which is what I do, which is to love you and grow with you. There was a time I was contemplating here recently, like, this is my message. God's telling me to do this certain type of thing. My wife won't even say the word God.
Yep.
Right? She can't even understand it. God's telling me. I'm literally out in war in the field, walking and talking, saying, what the fuck, God?
Yeah, I remember.
Like, why the fuck do you give me this woman that I love, yet you're telling me to have this mission, but she can't even believe in you?
Yep.
This you're tearing me apart. I'm not supposed to be happy?
Yeah.
And he tells me, just wait and be patient and hang on. I'm going somewhere with this, right? And I'm patient. And we were stuck in a place, and you can't even call it small because sometimes on the timeline, like, you don't know really where you're at. Something had to happen, and then it come out the other side. And I think we're on this like this course correction of just hyper driven, energetic momentum, love, connection. That's like, I'm at this place, like I said, beyond words. I can't even put words into the feeling that I'm after. I have something that I didn't have, but I had to be patient and wait for it, right? And wait. So on the flip side, had you not done that, would we be as connected as we are right now?
Right. And again, that's such an awesome question. You know, divine timing, everything happens the way it happens. It's, infinite intelligence. It's if I can't explain it, you can't explain it. It is part of the way life goes, but it's hard for me not to kick myself in the butt when I reflect back and I'm like, damn it, Kendra, why were you so closed off and why were you so unwilling to just let go and grow? You know that what's waiting for you if you just let go of all those stories, if you just let go of who your family thinks you're supposed to be and just go be who you want to be unapologetically.
It's funny because I've known that the whole time. We never talk about it. I never would make you outgrow your family.
Never.
But this year, we even talked about in the previous podcast that we just did that, like, I'm not going to do a lot of things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So just even as simple as moving forward, because here's just the reality of this, honey. On air, when we put this out there, like, you have about 18 months left of living in the same state of your family.
And
that's it.
Yep. And that took me how long? We had a very private conversation, probably laying in bed or walking. I don't remember which one it was, but I just said, I'm ready to go. Like, again, I love my family. But they're good with doing exactly what they've been doing for the last 20 years. They're going to continue to do that for 40 more. I need something different. I love them. I care about them. They need me. I got your back. But I got to go. And if you want to come with me, that's fucking awesome. But if you don't, then I guess when I come back and visit, I know exactly where I'm going to find you.
Yeah. So I think that I don't think that any of them will physically go, but energetically, and they're going to support you anyway. You got a really
they do,
family,
and they're
right?
great.
Really good family.
They
but
really are.
This is less about them and more about you.
It is
this whole conversation, because you're 100% correct. Right? We would have this movement would be far more advanced. I probably wouldn't have made some of the decisions that I made. But at the same time, in hindsight, looking back, it is what it is. I mean, like you said, wasted this time. I wrestled even before being with you for like 3 years of like, Mark, you wasted 21 years of your life drunk and drugged. Like, so like everything plays out right where you want it to be.
It does. And I'm grateful that I can sit in a position and, even have this podcast episode where I'll be able to go back in years and remember what it felt like to be in this spot and having this like uncomfortable growing pain. And I'm grateful for it. It's, and I'm sure there's going to be many more friendships and things down the line where at one point they're amazing and maybe then now it's my time to outgrow it, and it's nothing personal. It's personal for me, nothing personal for anybody else.
So this podcast is being recorded on January 2nd, 2024. And why I'm timestamping that is because if we do come back and look at it, I want to preface off of the past couple of weeks of the holidays. So I took inventory and stock of who actually wished me a happy New Year and a Merry Christmas. I didn't tell you this, right? I wanted to pay attention. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see who was it?
Yep.
Who actually gives a fuck about me? Mm-hmm. Like my team here, Ryan, there's like my core people, Ryan, Kevin, Chris, like we all we spend so much time together. So like that nucleus I knew was going to be there.
Yep.
2 people.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Well, I'll say who it was, right? There were some clients that kind of lingered in there. Just, I think that they had my number, so they're excited about where they're at. But like people who actually
took time
and thought from my past. Ryan Donato.
Awesome.
John Frankel.
Very cool.
That's it.
Yep.
Not my mom, not my dad, not my brother. I ended up texting my brother. Just 'cause I want to see,
How was your New Year?
How was it doing? But I took stock of who it was, who actually cared. That was for Christmas. And New Year's, I don't think anybody. Which is fine. I mean, I don't care, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't care about New Year's.
That's an interesting observation to.
Other than people who I actually am associated with on a day-to-day basis, who work with me alongside me, that draw revenue from the same world that I exist in, or you, and even like your side of the family, nobody texts like, "Hey, Merry Christmas, Amber." Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah. And
but here's where I come from. I do think I'm better than people.
Sure.
Okay, not as better as a human being. I'm better for the work I put into my life.
Yeah,
I'm better.
I understand that.
I get up every day to build and experience life as a divine king, which is the whole new version of Mark this year. And he's been fucking breaking and breaking and breaking out of the shell, who no longer wants to play small. You will not be able to look at our life by how big or small we played, by the things that we possess or that we own while here. It'll be through experiences, and when I get to meet my maker and above and beyond, we live in the next place together. I've been chasing you down for fucking years to get you, and I have you, and I know I'm going to probably die earlier than you here, and I'll be waiting in the next fucking life. And that's just the way that it's going to be. But when I look at, for me, what it's taken to get here, the pain and the agony of giving a fuck, because I didn't always feel this way. I would walk around and say I don't care.
Yes.
But I truly cared.
Yeah.
but I didn't care because they didn't care about me. So I cared enough to be angry back at you to fuck you.
Yeah.
Right. So what really happened is anger owed me. This year, none.
Yeah.
I am who I am, and you can either be with me or you can be good with your at. You're not against me.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me.
That is very big.
I used to think people were against me. If you're not with me, you're against me. No, you're good right where you're at. But guess what? Here's where I'm going.
Yes. And I feel like that may have been a story that I was telling myself. Now that I hear you say it out loud. Like if you're not with me and you're not supported, then you're against me. And the thought of people being against me was scary to me. You know, like I said, I like to be liked. I'm a kind human. I go out of my way to try and make people happy. So the thought of anybody like hating me or not liking me because I was trying to elevate my life, I was maybe not intentionally slowing myself down, but I sure as hell was giving them too much of the benefit to not project myself forward and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I got to go, you know.
It slowed you down for sure.
It did. But, you know, again, I'm at a spot now. I'm not 100% like you, where I'm just like, F you, I'm out of here, I'm going. But I am unapologetic about
But at the same time,
I
want you to focus on this too. Like where I'm taking us is people that are welcoming and waiting.
And I keep that at the forefront of my mind. How many people are so excited that I haven't even met yet?
That are excited to meet you.
That are excited to meet me, and I can have fruitful and wonderful relationships and conversations and laughter and fitness and all the things that are now aligning with my life. Yeah. And I think that's freaking awesome to think about.
There was one last thing I want to touch base on before we head out of here is like, I made such a commitment to me, to my team, to where I'm going. I mean, even Ryan on the other side of this camera, we did that call and I said, hey guys, like in the next 18 months or 12 months, like life's going to be shifting. When I laid out the calendar and be in California here and there. And he's like, well, I needed to kind of know how long we're going to be together. I think he thought like 2 years I'm going to give him and then he's done and gone, but that's not,
you're like,
that's not the game we're playing. Like if you're with me, you're with me. Like I don't just bail out and like we figure this shit out as we go. I only am going to pour into people who at least pour into me or are there for me and make more of an intention-based life to do more life with the people that I actually wanted to do life with me.
I love that.
But there's something that hit me going into 2024 because I'm in such a great spot. I found it all the way back from Cocky Mark when he's like, I want to tell everyone to get fucked.
Yeah.
I'm dripping with like, fuck you right now. Like much.
You actually said that to me the other day.
So much. I'm just like, I want to tell the world, like, I just have all these people and just.
And you're like, that's not right. That's not who I am.
But I have to leave that in the past to accelerate and to become more of who I'm meant to be. Because like I don't know how many Facebook or Instagram posts I put out that I was like going to write out that basically tell people to fuck off, but there's no purpose for it.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell everyone like, look at me. And they're like, well, wait a minute, Mark. You did the work. It's something inside. You don't have to show the world how you feel. Possess it in here and let people follow.
Mm-hmm. I love
Become more. That's a divine king.
That is.
Not a king that's ruling from a place of force.
Yeah, exactly.
Force you to fucking look at me.
Commodus.
No, I don't need, exactly. Commodus is weak.
Yep.
I see Ryan getting antsy over here, so maybe we're running out of batteries. I like to include talk about Ryan in these conversations.
Well, he's always here with us.
He's always here with us.
He is.
He's here in spirit. He's here in soul. He's here in flesh. Last question. Who are you going to become in 2024? On the spot.
Who am I going to become?
Okay, that's a big question.
You know what?
What's one thing?
More of who I want to be is how I wanted to answer that. And I'm maybe not necessarily sure what she looks like specifically, but I have certain attributes and there's things that I've been thinking about for a while and I'm just like waiting to break free and to be that, and I'm not going to let it stop me anymore.
So Garrett asked me on the syndicate call, there was 9 people in this group that I'm in today. Or he didn't ask me, but he asked everybody inside there. And I'm in a different place than all of the people. And I mean, he went off for like 20 minutes. It was a pretty good call. It was interesting because like I know I'm in a great spot, so I just get to smile and watch. But some of the people, he was like,
they need that.
He was just like making them bleed at the core and cutting them. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute. That's actually why I'm here. It's been a long time since I've actually just laid into some people. I'm in such a state of calmness and readiness because of the sacrifices that we've made to get here. Mm-hmm. whether we think we're chaotic or not in here, we have some shit figured out. So I'm able to operate from a place of calmness. I'm like, why am I actually really here? It was because there's other levels of obsession that I'm after, and I want to be able to be an elite communicator.
Yep.
Be more of who I am. I want to access the rage and the screaming, the love and the empathy, the conviction with the connection, the soft speaking with just slowing down. And I'm watching him do all these things. And there's certain different things that he has that I have too. But just in that slight moment, I'm like, well, wait a minute, you already have what you have. Yeah. He just showed you that it's possible. Yeah. So when I ask myself or tell myself, who do I want to become? I want to become more of a guide, more of a light for men across this world to be what's possible for them.
I love that.
And when I play the game from that space and from that energy, that's not playing small. So, that's it for this week's episode of the Comeback Couples Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.